And so, a young Matthew sat alone, waiting for his co-host to join the Discord call, so that he could begin a recording of a podcast. Here, we see a Matthew in his natural habitat, making sure that he's using the right microphone settings so that Zachary doesn't get mad at him. Although, the last time he tried, it was set correctly, and somehow the mic still fucked. Oh, hi!
Howdy, howdy.
I was recording voiceover as if I was a nature documentarian, watching my life.
Oh, interesting.
It only happened for about half a second.
Oh, okay.
And by half a second, I mean like a good, probably 30 seconds.
Okay. Are you recording on the microphone tonight?
I was just talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, last time I set this up, I was recording on the Yeti when we started, and somehow it fucked up. So
Okay.
I did make sure that I am on the Yeti per the audio setup before things started.
Okay.
I am hoping that carries forward, because I don't see why it would change in the middle.
Neither do I, you know? I have no idea why it would change in the middle.
I came home from work the other day. Let me tell you this harrowing adventure.
Okay.
I came home from work the other day, and my dad says, "Hey." I was like, "Hi." And he goes, "I just want you to know that I brought all the dogs to the basement today." And I was like, "Okay.
Okay.
This is not like a novel experience." He goes, "The puppy got into your trash bin." And I was like, "All right."
Okay.
And he goes, and while he was scaring himself at your trash bin, because he like got something and then something startled him, whether it be like his collar bumping into the plastic that is my trash bin or whatever, he's like, he got tangled up in the cords and he pulled your microphone and your headphones off your desk and slammed them into the ground. And I was just like, why? Why is this my life?
Why?
So I was very nervous that my microphone was going to be somehow busted, but it's not like my desk is 20 feet up.
Yeah, no, it's not that far up.
And it's also a carpeted floor. I apologize, I'm scratching my back with a back scratcher.
Oh, no, you're good. Do what you gotta do.
Well, you yelled at me last time that I scratched myself. Are you still doing a story about a guy from World War I?
Nope.
Fuck.
Why?
Well, because my notes have an intro based on you doing a story about a guy from World War I.
Well, I will tell you that I've switched it up, and if you wish to say, hey, you told me one thing, and now you're doing another, you rat bastard, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll fuck around and find out.
I found something that I couldn't resist.
I'm also giving a shout out to Stephen Cat.
Oh, of course.
Because I said, and I'm Matt. Today I learned what our boy Steve looks like as a married man.
Oh, that's so nice.
He deserves it. What episode are we on? Is this 90?
90.
So in 10, we should have a whole group get together.
Yes.
For
However,
our 100th episode.
Well, so it's we're the number of episodes that are being released are different than the like actual count, if that makes sense. So like the episode that just got released is
episode 75?
No. It was episode 85.
Holy shit.
Did you see the name of the episode?
5 ahead.
Yeah, we're 5 ahead.
What was it? Was it the Gumshoe
Jim Bop and the Return of Jimmy Two Shoes?
Jimmy Two Shoes.
Couldn't resist having the Return of Jimmy Two Shoes.
The Return of Jimmy Two Shoes. Yeah, but I still think episode 100 should be
big
a whole team.
Oh, Absolutely.
Whole team get together. Episode 100 special. The final trailer for Dune Part 2.
Ugh. I still haven't seen Dune Part 1.
You don't even know the subject material.
Dude, I'm balls deep in the Horus Heresy right now. I can't start Dune.
Well, I mean, Dune would be easy to start and finish because you really only need to read the first book. I was surprised when I found out that they are making Dune Messiah, which
I'm assuming you think is a bad idea.
It's not that it's a bad idea. Okay, so Dune is a flawless sci-fi book. I love it. I think it's great. I think the characters are really well developed. I think it wraps up a little quick, but aside from that, I love everything about Dune.
Yes.
Dune Messiah. So essentially the whole purpose of Dune, and guys, if you're a Patreon subscriber and you are listening to this after dark and you don't want it spoiled for you, I'm sorry, the book's been out since, 1970, so fucking deal with it. So essentially what happens in Dune is the main character, Paul Atreides, becomes the Messiah, essentially, of, like, a desert people. And through, like, this whole path, he realizes a way to save the universe from war.
Okay.
And so the first book, Dune, is just a setup of, like, him becoming this all-powerful mind-computer type person. And then, like, it ends with the knowledge that he is setting the world on what the universe essentially, or they just call it the Golden Path, which is like the path to peace throughout the universe. Messiah, which is the second book in the Dune series, completely deconstructs him as a Messiah figure. Like, it's just him coming to terms with the fact that he's been deified by people, which is not something that he wanted. It's just something that he took on because he needed to.
Okay.
And then the entire book is just him trying to deconstruct himself as a god. So he's just like, I don't want people to see me as a god. I'm just a person. And then, so that book, it's like 300, 400 pages, maybe. Jeez. Like, it's small, it's short, and I don't see how they're going to make it into a satisfying movie.
Yeah.
And then the third book is following Paul's children as they continue on the Golden Path, but
you told me that was bad.
So book 3 is not awful, but after book 3 is where it sort of, like, goes off the rails.
Okay.
Because you see, like, Herbert's being, like, a product of his time with, like, the book reading, like, old school propaganda mixed with like sci-fi, and it's just weird. So if you're gonna read Dune, which I know you've mentioned before that you aren't interested, but if you do, I would say stop at 1 because
I think I would read Dune, just Dune, with knowing that I could read Dune and be done with it. However,
you absolutely can.
Matt, here's my problem though. As I told you, I am balls deep in the Horus Heresy.
You are balls deep in a different... I'm not saying
Matt, do you know how many
series with a different book series.
Do you know how many novels are in the Horus Heresy series?
Like 700?
54.
That's a lot of books. Can you read them all in a day like you can with Animorphs?
So, no. I have them on audiobook that I've been listening to them, and I've finished almost 3 books in 5 days.
Oh, dang.
So they're like 400-page books, but like I'm at work and most of the time I can just plug in my headphones and just like listen as I hear about giant 8-foot men murdering people. It's great.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think
I'm not
you would...
saying I'm saying like what you can read Dune after.
Yeah, no, I might like slip Dune in there somewhere.
It is a worthwhile read, I think.
I figure that. Also, Matt, you should read these books.
I have so many to be read that I cannot add a 54 book series to it.
I know, but Matt, they read like their World War II like memoir books. But then all of a sudden someone mentions like a 8-foot tall man ripping someone's spine out of their back, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, this is a sci-fi novel.
Oh right, sci-fi. Hi Megan.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Zach and I are just going back and forth about literary works. I have to get through Wheel of Time before it kills me.
Yeah, but like if you have to sit there and suffer through it, is it really good?
Okay, I'll be honest with you. No.
So why are you reading it?
All right.
But
We appreciate your candor.
I've sunk too much time into it to not see how the story ends.
That's how people lose fortunes in Vegas.
That's
This
why
is
like
true.
that's why
I
fucking
know.
Google is made, dude.
I mean, okay, so I know that it ends with the good guys winning. That's not my point. Like, I just want to see if the ending is as satisfying as, like, I don't know. What's wild about that book series, though, is that, like, you'll go online and you'll listen to people talk about the Wheel of Time, and they're like, it gets good after book 5. And it's like, my brother in Christ, that is, like, 3,000 pages.
Yeah.
I get so mad about that because, like, I think... When was Dune published?
Dune? Hang
Yeah,
on.
like, when did it hit the literary seed?
I will look that up.
Dune publication.
Dune publication date, 1965.
Okay, so my aggravation with this is people are like... Or did you say Wheel of Time?
I'm talking about Wheel of Time
Which
specifically.
one is gets...
Wheel of Time.
Okay, so Wheel of Time and Dune, whatever. But, like, if your first line is not good in a book now in the publishing industry, no one is going to give you 5 books to heat up.
Absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
No one is going to let you, like, jerk off for 3,000 pages and be like, I'm sure this will improve, but in the meantime, here's an advance.
Yeah.
You do have to be kind of hot right out the gate.
Yeah, like, you have to absolutely be screaming out the gate, and this is one of the reasons, like, I get aggravated about, like, the fuck around generation. I'm talking to you, boomers, where they're just like, it was hard back in our day, too. It's like, what was hard? Sometimes there was a line at the mall, and, like, you might have gotten drafted to Vietnam, like, and you could just walk into a publisher's office and be like, here's my shitty manuscript. I assure you, book 5 is going to be a banger.
I took a shit on a page. Publish this. No, it's not.
And they're like, yep, sounds good.
The thing about Wheel of Time, and like I've lamented about this series a lot because Robert Jordan describes everything in excruciating detail. It just takes it takes a long time. You're reading the story from 5 separate characters' perspectives, and so like it's a lot of like you'll read the perspective of one character, and then the next chapter is another character who's questioning the motives of the character you just read. So it does get really frustrating to be like, I completely understand this character's motives. And then you switch to a character that's just like, I don't have any clue why he's doing this. And you're like, but I know. And it's boring to listen to you talk about how you don't understand it.
Yeah.
And so it does get, and it gets a little frustrating to be like, You know, there's a character, and I was talking about this one time when my dad was down here, and I was like, there's a character that's arguably the most interesting. His name is Matt. He has, he's like really lucky, and he's...
Just in general?
Well, so a little bit of a lore dump for Wheel of Time, but he goes through this portal. He asks for, like, knowledge, essentially, and he's gifted with, like, the memory of his past lives, because the whole purpose of the Wheel of Time is that, like, you're just a soul that reincarnates into a new body. And so he, like, becomes this master tactician in battle without any effort, because he's like, these are just memories that are coming to my head, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And he's the most interesting character because he just slips out of shenanigans because he's lucky. And so it's annoying to read a perspective of Matt where it's like, I don't know how I'm getting by, but I'm fucking doing it. And, like...
I'm out here.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm here. And then you read from a perspective of someone who's, like, tailing along with Matt, and they're like, he's literally as dumb as rocks. He does not deserve to be special. He's not a special boy. And it's just like, give the guy credit. He got you out of, like, 7 different life or death situations with a whim. And, like, he MacGyvers situations, and it doesn't make any sense. So it's just, but it is a frustrating way to tell a story.
Yeah.
I've lost you. I've lost you all.
Nope, I'm still here. I get that. I don't like jumping perspectives.
I mean, it's acceptable when there's not 7 perspectives. Like, it's also...
That's why I couldn't get into the fucking Game of Thrones books.
See, but the Game of Thrones books, and I was just about to say, like, they do... George R.R. Martin has an interesting way of writing where even when 2 storylines kind of converge, he still writes with the idea that, like, the reader has a knowledge of the motives of... So, like, he doesn't go through the process of explaining the step-by-step of, like, this is what this character understands about the other person's thing.
See,
He'll
Matt,
just be like,
we
know what's going on here.
Matt, you lost me as soon as you said George R.R. Martin has an interesting way of writing.
Okay, look, I'm not saying he's the best writer. All I'm saying is he has... It's a better way of writing where he's not, like, re-explaining something that you know from a different character's perspective.
No, he's not going over the same shit a million times. Yes, I get that.
Yeah,
I don't find his writing interesting.
Look, and maybe it's not.
But that's me personally. Anyway.
I like it. I'm mostly annoyed with the fact that he doesn't feel the need to complete the books because the TV series is out and the TV series was garbage. We should probably record a podcast.
Yes, we should.
This has been Zach and Matt's Literary Corner.
Yes.
Megan was here too.
That's true.
Megan,
but she's a librarian, so she has, like...
The smut's good.
Oh, yeah. You still smutting it up?
Yeah, I'm reading one where a priest fucks a parishioner on the altar.
Isn't that just Fleabag?
I was about to say Fleabag?
I don't know.
I don't
know, it's good. Very disrespectful to the Catholic Church.
Good. I haven't watched Fleabag, but I feel like I really need to.
I echo that sentiment.
All right.
Do we want to decide in order?
Can I go first?
Because
I am excited about my thing today.
I just know that my story is kind of little, so I could...
Mine is larger, so...
I could potentially go middle, but...
Okay.
What did we do last time?
I believe I was last time.
I will check.
I was first.
We'll check.
because I hadn't gone first
Oh, shit.
in a long time.
It didn't save our order from last time. That's a shame. I cannot answer the question.
But I have it today in history for whenever we're ready.
I don't mind you going first, Zach, but I really think, like, my story is not super long, so I just don't want to...
That's fine. You can go in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with Zach going first, me going middle, and you going last, Megan. Is that
That
the
sounds
plan?
good. Yeah, I think so.
I think that sounds like a great plan.
Followed by
I will count us in.
me. Followed by Megan. You can count us in whenever you're ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Today in history, in 1484, Innocent VIII condemns witchcraft via papal bull, and subsequently he dispatches inquisitors to Germany to try witches. I'm assuming up until this point, witchcraft was A-okay.
Welcome to What the Fuck History, where we discuss the wackiest and weirdest things that make us say, well, what the fuck history. I am your host, Zachary, and I once again am here with your historical BuzzFeed-style listicle.
Megan, you're next.
Megan?
We lost her.
We lost... Oh, Megan!
She's back.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you guys.
Yeah, no, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now.
Okay.
All right, it's your turn to do the thing.
Oh, sorry. My name's Megan, and I just experienced massive technical difficulties.
And I'm Matt. Today I learned what our boy Steve looks like as a married man, and I gotta say, he's just a cutie.
He's handsome as fuck, dude.
He is.
Just
They
a
look cute
beaut.
together.
Just an absolute beaut.
But we here
And
at
fuck can he run.
Triumvirate Productions just want to say congratulations to Steve and Kat, because Kat was also in the pictures of Steve looking like a beaut, and she looked great, so...
Everybody looked great.
It was just a great time. Well, I can't say the same for the people that I don't know that were in those pictures, but...
Just Matt,
Steve
in the
and
most
Kat looked
wholesome
great.
way. In the most wholesome way possible. You.
You!
You.
You.
That's all. That's all I have
What's
to
that
say.
character's name? Scotty Wallace or whatever?
Scotty Wallace say, you.
I didn't know Scotty Wallace was here. So anyways, Steve's been our resident fact checker for a long time. He tells us how to pronounce things, often many weeks after we've recorded the podcast episodes. So he'll just post in our group chat and be like, this is how you say this. And we're like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on a minute. That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll just be like, oh shit, Steve's correcting us. But he really is the sweetest, and he's great at telling us what we fucked up on. So congratulations to Kat and Steve. Can't wait to see you when you come back to town.
Super excited.
All right, podcast children, we have reset our strikes to 0. We have played a fictional game of rocked, paper, scissors, and the order for tonight is Zach, followed by me, followed by Megan.
Rocked. Paper, scissors.
Rocked paper.
Rocked paper. Rocked you like a hurricane paper.
Here I am. That's all I can sing of that
That's
song.
all we can sing.
We'll get sued.
That's right. I am here, starting us off, to once again list off some weird things in history and put them in a ranked list to which I think is the best. Not which one is the most effective, mind you, but the one that I enjoyed the most. And this time, I am shying away from sex toys, something I never thought I'd hear myself say, and instead I'm talking about some weird stuff we did to be healthy. because it's cold and flu season, y'all. So what better way to boost our immune systems than listening to all the awful ways we used to try and boost our immune systems? Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so ready.
I forgot that it was cold and flu season.
Yeah.
Can I take like a quick guess for like one of the things that people used to do?
Sure.
You're going to guess?
Guess one. Guess one right off the
Yeah,
top.
I'm going to guess.
Guess it.
I'm going to guess one right off the top. Way too much licorice.
Oh, I did not put licorice in my ranked list. However,
I was going to say eating mummies.
eating mummies, we've talked about that before, so I didn't put it in my ranked list.
Oh, fair.
But, Megan, as far as eating licorice goes, yeah, we used to eat way too much licorice as a cure-all for everything, but I like licorice, so...
I hate licorice.
Ugh.
And it's specifically because I was told to eat it while I was sick.
Yep.
I have bad news for you. If you go to Iceland or like literally any Nordic country, you're gonna bite into a nice, seemingly normal piece of chocolate, and then it's gonna be like, bam, licorice.
Oops, all
wow,
licorice.
this thing is gross.
I hate that so much.
I love
I was also fully joking when I said that I didn't know that it was cold and flu season because
You just had COVID.
We had to cancel last week's recording session because I had COVID and I wanted to take a nap.
Nap time. All right, so let's get this show on the road, and I think we should start this by talking about the creme de la creme of shitty health options, which is just snake oil. Because in our current lexicon, yeah, the current way we talk, our current vocabulary, snake oil is the catch-all name for anything we find to be hocus pocus. And so I think it warrants talking about
Hocus Pocus,
which I still have not seen, and I refuse to do so.
Fair enough.
I have the moral high ground. At least that's what I tell myself at night. So,
right.
Snake oil was a real thing. It was oil that was extracted from Chinese water snakes and served the same purpose as today's fish oils do. Basically a healthy dose of omega-3 fatty acids and helping to reduce inflammation. So when Chinese workers brought it over during the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad, it became very popular. But...
Lick that snake.
What was that, Megan?
Lick the snake.
Lick the snake. No, it was like, so you get fish oil pills, which is like concentrated fish fat. I mean,
yeah, that's like licking the fish.
Licking the fish. So the actual usable snake oil didn't stop one Clark, the Rattlesnake King Stanley. Move over, Tiger King. This guy's the real deal. And Stanley was a cowboy that went around selling people bogus versions of snake oil. And he would roam from town to town, claiming that he had studied with a Hopi medicine man that taught him all about the wonders of snake oil. And at one point, he even winds up at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, where he just grabs a bag full of rattlesnake, pulls one out, slices it open, and wrings it out like a shitty dish rag and starts selling it to fair attendees.
Yes.
That's a thing. And the FDA later is like, hey, y'all, this shit contains no snake whatsoever. It's bogus.
This has no snake.
Absolutely.
Looking at the percentages, no snake.
0% snake in this snake oil. Clark keeps
it's like
pushing...
it did a 23andMe, but for fucking... whether or not it had snake in it.
Snake in it? Yeah. Send it to the lab. The boys in the lab say there's 0 snake in this. But
the boys at the lab have confirmed no snake.
No snake. Clark keeps selling his snake oil throughout the United States and pushing his bullshit until the day he dies. Which is why we have the term today, because a lot of people tried it and a lot of people were like, hey, this isn't going to cure all of the ailments that this man said it would. So, voila, snake oil. Now, I'm going to rank snake oil here, and I'm going to rate it as a D, because, well, the idea of ripping open a snake in front of a live audience where it could possibly ruin a perfectly good funnel cake seems terrible to me. It is kind of metal, so I won't go lower than a D.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
Okay.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think
so.
for it being the term that we use to describe any type of medicine which does not work, it warrants it being at like a C at best.
Okay, well, I feel we can bump it up to a C. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. So, we have moved snake oil up to a C. This wouldn't be the last prescription mishap, and we didn't want to, at least I didn't want to forget about the thing that on the market that makes the. Sorry, my bad. I'm tripping over my words. I wouldn't want to be. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the only thing on the market that gets rid of the ghosts in your blood. Because in the mid 1880s,
you should do cocaine about it.
Exactly. In the mid 1880s, just before the snake oil extravaganza, scientists isolate the erythroxylene coca in the coca leaf. And they also rename it to cocaine because that sounds way fucking better.
It sure does.
That does sound better.
It's way better. And it quickly becomes the pharmaceutical stimulant of the ages. In 1884, some weird Austrian by the name of Karl Kohler, who just so happened to be an ophthalmologist, discovers that if you put a few drops of cocaine into someone's eye, they don't really feel anything when you're digging around in there for surgery. And I'm sure that discovery came from a very ethical and well thought out trial. But it also meant that there was a lot less bleeding. Because
I trust men with drugs.
I trust weird Austrian men with cocaine.
That's I just don't see why not.
I'm fairly certain that one of the stories that I told on this show was about an Austrian man who took cocaine.
Probably. Sounds familiar. But yes.
Does it sound familiar or does it just sound plausible?
No.
Why can't it be both?
It happened.
It
Why
did
not
happen.
Both?
That was
But
the
I
Austrian man
definitely
that saw
did tell
God.
that story.
Yes. But yeah, so Karl Kohler discovers this, and the other thing about putting cocaine into someone's eye while you're doing surgery is they bleed a lot less because the eye tends to not... Because there's less pain and there's kind of an anesthetic feeling to it, the person moves around a whole lot less. So you get less bleeding and less fuck-ups.
Yeah.
And...
That's true.
So that's a good thing.
I hate it when my patients move during surgery.
I hate it when I have to work on my extremely conscious patients and they move around too much. I'm just digging in the innards.
Honestly,
and they gotta move.
very annoying. It's rude.
It's rude. It's rude to wake up in surgery.
It sure is.
So they eventually kind of take this and start using cocaine as a general anesthetic. And its treatment is used for just about everything. And I'll name a few in alphabetical order and not limited to alcoholism, depression, impotence, lethargy, sonitis, and toothaches. Were all cured with cocaine.
Honestly, what doesn't lead to impotence?
Cocaine cures everything.
The wonder drug.
But my favorite out of all of these is the toothaches, because usually the advertising for toothaches, why you should use cocaine for toothaches, is marketed towards giving it to your kids to coke them up and shut them up about their mouth pain. God bless America.
Yeah.
It's great.
Look, I haven't found a single situation
kids are annoying as fuck.
Has not been helped by giving cocaine to kids. So
absolutely.
That's true. I literally have never come across a situation.
Meghan works in a library where kids are abound, and she has a bag of cocaine under her desk for this very purpose.
It's kind of like when David Bowie in Labyrinth, he blows glitter. Out of his hand.
That wasn't glitter.
That wasn't glitter.
It wasn't glitter.
That was also cocaine. I love that labyrinthian cocaine. So you could...
That's the best kind, honestly.
You could buy this shit from a fucking Sears catalog. Everywhere there was cocaine. And it wasn't until 1914 that the Harrison Narcotic Act outlaws the production, importation, and distribution of that sweet booger sugar. And for that reason, I'm going to give cocaine a B ranking, because while it seems like we had a whole lot of fun with it, I do think we overdid it. So it's only getting a B.
There's no such thing as too much cocaine.
And I'm going to switch from an upper to a downer on that note and say, hey,
hell yes.
Do you guys think heroin would cure my cough?
Hey, yes.
Well, we used to think that.
Honestly, I think it'll cure most things, at least mentally.
Again,
for a time.
They are taking from the Benadryl school of thought, which is you can't be sick if you're dead or asleep.
Pretty much.
That's true, actually. I mean, isn't that what like all modern like cough syrup does? It just
knocks you out,
puts you under enough where you can't think about coughing.
Yeah, or it has a bunch of like cough and sinus suppressants so that you don't know you're sick, but you're sick.
Yeah, well, it just like it puts everything to sleep.
Yeah,
it's like shut up,
shut up, body.
Like,
I don't do what I need you to do.
Yeah, shut up. It's time to sleep now.
So it
hits you over the head with a coffee mug.
Exactly. So in the 1880s, along with all the cocaine use, we did have a problem with morphine in America. And we continued to have a problem with morphine for quite a while until 1895, when a new quote-unquote safe and non-addictive morphine alternative hits the market. It's heroin.
Is it?
We love that.
A safe alternative.
So heroin is 5 times more effective than morphine.
That's the safe one.
What was that, Meghan?
That's the safe one.
Oh, that's the safe one for sure,
That's the safe alternative.
So, heroin is 5 times more effective than morphine, but despite what they say, it is equally as addictive. But that never stopped pharmaceutical companies, and eventually you get everything from pushing it on doctors for patients to straight up selling heroin-laced aspirin from Bayer.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. When I don't feel good, right? Like when something on my body hurts, or like I got a tummy ache, or my head hurts, I would like heroin laced Advil.
You know what? Like, it's awful. Like, I know it's real bad, but I mean, the shit would work, I guess. Like, I wouldn't have a migraine if I was taking heroin laced Advil.
No, you wouldn't have anything at all.
I wouldn't have any. I'd be gone. And eventually heroin also gets a ban altogether in 1924. Way too late for what it should have been, but hey, at least we got a ban. And on that note, I'm going to give heroin an F because I can't go any lower than an F. Heroin's awful.
It's an X.
Yeah. And because it's me, I can't actually stop myself, nor do I want to stop myself from bringing a sexy thing in here to wrap it all up. So, as a last note on weird things we did in medical history to fix ourselves, hey, have you guys ever just, like, lost your sex drive and think, I know what would fix this? Hooking myself up to a car battery.
Like,
no.
like what part?
Just all of you.
Oh, okay. I think I would see God before I got turned on.
You'd be turned on by a battery. Like a fucking one.
Like,
not
maybe
only
I'm
will this
turned
kill
on.
you, it'll hurt the entire time.
Maybe I would be turned on by seeing God due to the car battery.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Just hallelujah, he has risen. That was
And
a bad
so
joke.
have I.
So, that was the certain way of thinking back in the day, and male impotence being blamed on so many things. Stingy Victorians blamed it on too much masturbation and sex, or too little, depending on which person you talk to. In medieval times, it was an imbalance of the humors, and we've come up with some whack shit to get hard. We really have. And we're not here for excuses. We're here for results.
We're here for solutions.
We're here for solutions. How do we fix the boner problem? Well, some doctors thought that the fix for the boner problem was electrical stimulation, and they would give what they called galvanic baths to people who were impotent.
Maybe they're not wrong.
And
I don't know. Maybe they're not wrong. Like,
so here's the thing.
Aren't there face masks? Aren't there like these face mask machines that like apply a low level of an electrical current to help stimulate your face?
Okay, so
maybe a little electricity isn't wrong.
with actually like revealing the end here, this is still a practice that is used for erectile dysfunction. There are actually like studies that show like a little bit of like electric shock is, can be helpful. I guess.
I can't believe this.
But like the way we used to do it definitely seems a lot less humane. Like again, the galvanic bath where it was just a tub filled with water and electrodes
that
and
you just threw a toaster in.
Yeah, that you just like had a person sit in. Your sexual desire could be returned to you in just 6 relaxing sessions of the Shock Tub 3000. So
the Shock Tub 3000.
Yeah, you'd basically just like sit in a tub and get electrocuted for 5 minutes and be like, well, I'm hard again. I can't tell if I'm hard or I have rigor mortis. Either way, I'm good to go.
You're both. You got both those things.
Other doctors at the time liked a more direct and local approach, preferring to stick an electrified rod up a man's urethra.
Wow.
And you would get this treatment twice a week, and sessions lasted 5 to 8 minutes.
Yuck.
I think that's a one-way hole.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a one-way hole, too.
It's not.
It's not, but I think it should be. At least for my particular tastes.
But we're also not here to kink shame, so like,
I'm not
if
here to
that's your
yuck any
thing,
yums, but for me, that's a no from me, dog.
It's a no from me, dog, as well.
And eventually some less trustworthy doctors and money-grubbing businessmen started selling electropathic belts for in-home care. These things were marketed towards helping with nerve issues and back pain and exhaustion, but we all knew it was for limp dick.
We all knew.
We all knew it was for limp dick. And I am going to give electric dick therapy the C ranking, because while it doesn't sound fun... C for cock, A.
Got it.
And also B, or 2, however you prefer. Well, it doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. It does sound like something that may or may not be able to give me superpowers. So, for that reason, I give it a C ranking.
There you go.
And I know I've gone over 4 of them in detail, but I don't want to chew up too much more time, but I do want to give a few honorable mentions. Those honorable mentions being the lobotomy with a C rank, just for the Claire's meme alone.
Love that.
Yeah, I think C rank is good for the lobotomy. Literally helped no one.
Vibrator hysteria therapy gets a B because, well, it is...
Oh, S rank.
It's fucked up in origins, but Pussy Power took that one back, and I love that for them, so they get a B.
What do you mean a B?
It's got fucked up origins. I can't give it an A.
Oh, okay, I'm contesting it.
Oh, okay, you can contest
it,
but we'll circle back to that. So, vibrator hysteria therapy gets a B. Milk transfusion gets an F because I'm lactose intolerant. Chloroform.
Because I'm lactose intolerant.
What a petty reason.
Still a reason. Chloroform
Fair.
for asthma gets a C because it's so stupid that it's funny.
Hey, does this napkin smell like chloroform to you?
And finally, the tobacco smoke enema gets a B rank because, well, I'm not a fan of butt stuff. It did actually help with cholera, apparently.
Wait.
That's also where the term blowing smoke up someone's ass
Yep.
comes from.
Why did that help with cholera?
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who talks about shitty doctors of the past. And
That's crazy.
Megan, to circle back to your point about the vibrator not getting an A, it's because no one gets an A. Because fuck, guys, we need to be better about medicine. This whole story was just a plea for the American healthcare system to do better. That's all.
That's true. That's true. To be fair, though, I gave it S rank. I skipped A.
You're
Okay,
giving
you know
the
what?
vibrator S rank?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? The vibrator itself deserves an S rank. The origins of it being used as a therapy for hysteria, I'd say can
bad.
probably keep it at a B.
Yes. So
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that.
the vibrator hysteria therapy gets a B. The vibrator itself gets a triple S rank.
Yeah. I think it's just a godly device.
Just a godly device. Oh, thank fuck for technology. Remember, folks,
So now
that's
that
not
we're
your
done
enemy, it's your
talking
friend.
about medicine. Zach told me that he was going to do a story about World War One. Again, we didn't record last week, but last week his topic was going to be World War One, and so my whole intro was written based on Zach doing a World War One thing, and now he's not, so he's a lying piece of shit, and for that I'm giving him a strike.
Fair enough.
Oh my god! Wow.
But it's-
you just called him petty for being lactose intolerant, but then you start out with that.
Nah,
I'll
I
take a
accept
strike
that.
for it. I'll take a strike for the pettiness. Look, I'm not.
No,
I'm not
you don't
ashamed.
deserve a strike right now.
All I'm saying is, watch yourself.
I'm watching.
Jesus.
So since Zach didn't do a story about World War One, I figure I'll follow it up with a story about the sequel. That's right, folks. We're going back to World War Two.
Hey!
The war so nice they waged
Hey.
it twice. What? Germany were the bad guys again? Who could have seen that coming?
That's crazy. And now now Italy's here?
Yeah.
And what's that? It's the Russians with their steel chair!
It's the
Don't put them on a level with John Cena.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so anyways, World War II, the Germans were using submarines that they called U-boats, which stands for underwater boats.
Does it really?
That's not actually the truth.
I got really excited
I was
for
gonna
a
lose
second,
my
and then I
mind.
was like, that's not German.
Not quite. I was gonna make it Unterwasser boats, but then I didn't want Steve to have to do any extra work.
Fair enough.
I mean, I also learned German, but I'm sure there's a different word for underwater, unless, 3 weeks from now he's gonna send me a message and be like, no, it's Unterwasser. But either way, they were using submarines. Tonight, we're going to talk about one of these submarines.
Okay.
This is the story of U-1206, or 1206. U-1206 was commissioned by a man named Gunther Fritz. And after undergoing training exercises, it was approved for active duty. Command of the ship was handed to a man by the name of Karl Adolf Schlitt, and they were sent out to sea.
Oh. That's a name.
Huh?
That's a name.
That's a name.
Karl Adolf? Yeah.
No, Schlitt.
Yeah, his
Schlitt?
last name is Schlitt. Schlitt. So they went out to sea. The 1206 went on a training patrol on March 28th, and it came back on March 30th. It had a one patrol on April 2nd, and then it was sent out for its very first active patrol on April 6th. And on April 14th, a tragedy occurred.
Okay.
Would either of my esteemed co-hosts like to guess the tragedy?
I mean,
on April
I
16th.
know the answer, so I feel like I shouldn't answer.
I mean, you both
Yeah.
know the answer.
Well, you should tell everyone else.
But you should tell me. Can you guess the nature of the tragedy?
That shit sunk.
It sunk. It did sunk for sure. So 1206 was an advanced U-boat, and it had a fancy type of
Advanced.
toilet.
Oh, I was gonna say whatever makes a submarine go. Propeller.
Propeller. It had a new propeller, and that propeller was a toilet. No, it had it had been outfitted.
That propeller was a toilet.
It had been outfitted with a fancy new hydraulic toilet, and the toilet was fancy because it allowed for the expelling of waste while the vessel was in motion, which I guess submarines up to this point were not able to do.
You couldn't shit and go at the same time. I got you.
Correct. But the ability to do this required a trained technician in order to expel the waste properly while the machine was in motion.
You need a poop patrol?
Kinda. And so,
They're like, hey, are you pooping in there?
hey, are you pooping?
you-
Because I'm going to have to push like 10 buttons after you're done. So anyways, the day of April 14th, crew member goes to the bathroom, tries to flush the toilet on their own, and because they have not had any training on the hydraulic system, they cause seawater to flood back in through the toilet.
Oh no, this is tragic.
And
This is horrible.
so seawater begins flooding into the vessel, and because of the location of the toilet on the ship, the seawater begins to affect the ship's batteries, which, when they start interacting with the seawater, they start producing chlorine gas.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
This went from a shit show to a gas explain is bad.
Yeah. So the captain's put in between a rock and a hard place, where he has to decide if the whole crew should die of gas inhalation or if they should surface so that they can get some fresh air. He decides that it's a great idea to surface.
Yeah.
And then he immediately gets spotted by the British, who shell them until the U-boat captain is forced to scuttle the vessel.
I can't believe this. I can't believe
I die or I die.
could
Got
bring
it.
such horror.
I either die or it's a rock and a hard place. You either die or you die.
Yeah.
They don't end up getting hurt. Like, no one on the crew of U-1206 ends up getting hurt by the shelling.
Okay.
But 3 sailors did die in the high seas after they had to abandon the vessel.
Okay.
The silver lining to that story is that they're Nazis, so don't feel bad about them dying.
I don't.
And 46 men were recovered from U-1206 and taken as prisoners of war until the war ended 24 days later.
Oh, okay.
And I think what's really fun about this story is that this was literally like its first time out. Like, it had been on test runs, but this was its first active patrol. So it goes out on its first active patrol on the 6th, and by the 14th, it's getting scuttled because somebody took a shit and flushed the toilet at the same time.
I love that. That makes me, like, it's bad, but it makes me so happy to know that someone was like, oh, well, Gotta do my business. Oh no!
Just imagine being the guy on that U-boat, though.
Imagine being the guy who pooped.
Yeah.
Imagine being the guy that thought it can't be that hard to flush a toilet.
I can flush a toilet. I know what I'm doing. Oh no!
Imagine not being able to hold it.
Oh, oops. Yeah. And that, surprisingly, is my entire story.
I mean, not surprisingly, like,
I did say that it was a very short one.
you did say it was a short one, and not only that, but like, man, you can only say I fucked up shit so many times in so many ways, you know?
Yeah.
I goof pooped, you know?
I pooped a goof. I just thought that story
how
was so
embarrassing.
good because it's like, it's. I mean, first of all, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like,
Yeah.
was it necessary to invent a U-boat at that point that needed a whole new system for getting rid of shit, or could we have just kept on keeping on? Now, again, I'm happy that Nazis died. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm just thinking, I don't understand, like, why there was an innovation to it.
No idea.
I mean, sometimes humans push the bounds of science,
Yeah.
and it takes us further away from God.
Yep. Or
And,
three men.
You know, this will.
3 men got closer to God, actually. As close as one.
I don't
close
know.
as one can get, yeah.
They might have gone to hell based on the situation.
That's true. They were Nazis.
And they died in the poop sub.
They died.
in the sub, buddy.
Dying in the poop sub is a good song.
Yeah. Dying in the poop sub is
Nazis
is a
dying
great
in the poop
song,
sub.
actually. But yeah, that's my story. It's very short.
Hey, it did what it had to do.
It did what it had to do. It brought everyone a knowledge of don't poop on a sub.
Of the poop sub. Poop on a sub.
Pooping on a sub.
Don't poop on a sub.
Pooping on a sub.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna tell my story now.
Okay.
Okay.
Explosively, but not as explosive as Matt's sub.
A poop sub?
Poop sub? Yeah, it's explosively, my story is called It's Corn.
It's corn.
A big lump of...
It's corn. A big lump of knobs.
It's
I don't know
got
if
the
that's
juice.
trademarked. Is that a trademark song?
I don't think
The
so.
song? I don't think he's going around performing it.
I would go to a concert of the It's Corn. So, I'm sure you're wondering, Megan, why would I ever go to South Dakota?
Yeah, why would you go to South
It's-
Dakota?
Phil, why would you ever go to South Dakota? Out of the blue, truly, you would be asking me that. And then you would probably follow it up with, it has like 2 people and fracking. And those 2 people love fracking.
Those 2 people
But
will sit you
I
down
have-
every day to talk to you about
And talk
how
to you
much
about
they love
fracking.
fracking.
About their Lord and Savior
They're like-
fracking.
Yeah, fracking Christ. That's his name. So I have just 2 words for you about why to visit South Dakota, and they are
It's corn.
Corn Palace.
Corn what?
Just Corn Palace. Corn Palace.
Corn.
There's a corn palace in South
Corn.
Dakota?
There's a Corn Palace located in scenic Mitchell, South Dakota.
Mitchell.
I bought my ticket.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. I don't know where the closest airport is to this place, but there is a Corn Palace. So let me explain to you what the Corn Palace is. The Corn Palace is many things. First and foremost, an inspiration, a vision, the epitome of human engineering. It's all of these things. And when it isn't being lauded as the pinnacle of mankind's imagination, it is also called the world's only corn palace and the Mitchell Corn Palace. So they kind of fell off of the train with the last one.
I love that they had to like explain that no, there's only one corn palace and we got it here.
It is the corn palace.
We got it here. It is the corn palace, world's only corn palace. So I would like to start my story at the beginning of the palace's journey. Taking you back, it is the late 19th century. The internet still hadn't been invented, so we had a lot of time on our hands, especially in the Great Plains region of the U.S. A number of cities out there during this time constructed crop or grain palaces to promote themselves and to hype up some of the dank farm products, sans weed, that they were growing. Hemp, not popular. Every other part of weed, also not popular.
Fucking straight edge losers. I'm kidding.
You know, straight edge losers, farmers. So, surprisingly, people with nothing better to do went absolutely feral about grain palaces. The idea was just to, like, they were just big buildings that showcased these products.
Okay.
Like expo centers.
So it's a building that really likes corn. It's not a building made out of corn.
Oh, well, let me get to it.
Okay, all right, I'm back in. Like I was like, all right, it's a building, all right, but now I'm back in. You got me.
No, let me cook. All right. So the idea was a success and it spread. So from 1887 to 1930, there were at least 34 corn palaces that were built across the Midwest, but only Mitchell's Corn Palace, which is built in the Moorish Revival style, so it looks like it's straight out of Arabian Nights, survives.
Oh my god.
I don't know why that's the architectural style they went with. It must have been awkward after 9/11. Like, all these Republicans are kind of looking at their corn palace and they're like, God damn it.
I did post it in the Discord chat, by the way, if you want to take a look.
Oh my god.
The corn palace.
It's beautiful.
So it is beautiful. It's a beautiful building. So the original Mitchell Corn Palace, also known as the Corn Belt Exposition, was built in 1892 to showcase the absolutely fertile soil of South Dakota and convince people to settle in the area. And judging by the fact that today the entire state has just shy of 900,000 people, it did not work. Like, obviously it's like more people than it had, but like, I think Massachusetts, which is like so small compared to South Dakota, has like 6 million people in it. So the building was constructed on Main Street on donated land from a member of the First Corn Palace Committee.
Oh my god.
In 1909, Mitchell tried to have a city coup to replace Pierre as the state capital, but was unsuccessful. I don't know how that happens, like how a whole city has a coup against another city to try to become the state capital.
Oh my god.
It's the same way all coups happen.
How?
Without any proper planning.
Okay, that's yeah. I'm back in. So then in 1921, after being unsuccessful gaining the state capital title, the palace gained like Russian-style onion domes and Moorish minarets, giving it the appearance it has today. So it kind of looks like a weird combination of like the Kremlin and like the Hagia Sophia.
Yeah, that's a good way to...
I was just thinking it looks a lot like the Red Square in Moscow.
Yeah, it's a really weird building. So in 2004, media attention was drawn to the palace when, for some reason, it received Homeland Security funding presumably because it was one of the biggest tourist attractions in the area. Not that that's saying much. The department did draw criticisms for this, though, because everyone else was just like, why are you giving money to the Corn Palace when 9/11 was 3 years ago?
Oh my
They're
God.
like, we don't understand why the Corn Palace is getting national security coverage when New York is still, like, we have gaping holes in New York. So then in 2007, the Corn Palace received even more money for a new camera system to protect a new fiberglass statue of the Corn Palace's mascot, Cornelius.
Cornelius?
Yeah, Cornelius is the Corn Palace's mascot.
I love that.
So I'm sure now, we're circling back to Zach's previous point. I'm sure you're wondering what the exterior of the palace is made of. And yes, it is corn stalks and cobs.
I love that.
Oh my God.
There are also corn murals on the outside, and those are replaced every year with designs from local corn artists. We have no cool jobs here.
I demand
No.
to see that process.
The corn murals?
I demand to see how one creates a corn mural.
Well, let me explain. So, first off, it costs about $175,000 every time the Corn Palace is redecorated.
Oh my God.
And the way that it is done is sort of like a corn by numbers configuration. Like,
That's awesome.
Corn by
like
numbers.
they find like cobs that are certain colors, and then they like project the mural, and they're like, okay, brown cobs go here, yellow cobs go here, and so on and so forth. So on off days, the palace is a venue for concerts, sports events, and other community things, making it one of the most confusing yet wholesome things I have ever heard about South Dakota. Not that I've heard a lot, but I guess it's good to know that the Corn Palace is one of the most secured places by Homeland Security in the whole state.
Wild.
And that's... I know, it was truly... I don't even remember how I found this story. I don't remember how I found the Corn Palace. Because, like, last week we were going to record, but we didn't, and I didn't have time to write my story, and I was like, I think I have ones that are ready to go. And I did, but I didn't remember corn. I didn't remember the palace.
How could you forget the palace?
How could I forget it? But it's a crazy building. It's an absolutely insane looking building. Like, I just don't know why you would specifically go to South Dakota to see it. Like, yeah, it's cool if you already live in the state, but like, I'm not gonna fly to South Dakota.
Meghan, have you looked at this? This is my Mecca. Like, look at it.
Your Mecca is made of corn?
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. Like, don't get me wrong. And that's all corn. The whole thing is made of corn.
Oh my God. Yeah, like, I feel like...
Like...
Okay, but, like, I am a kind of person that likes dumb roadside attractions and, like, weird shit like this. And I'm looking this going, like... I gotta find other things in South Dakota to do, because I gotta go see this fucking corn place.
I've got to be honest with you.
But, I mean...
I have already bought a ticket.
Oh, yeah, he's already gone,
I'm there.
dude.
You're there?
Well,
I'm leaving tonight.
Is it... I'm leaving tonight on a red eye.
Broadcasting live from the Corn Palace will be our episode next week.
Broadcasting live. Are the Badlands in, like, Badlands National Park?
Yeah.
The Badlands National Park is in South Dakota.
Yeah, we're going.
Like, there's
Live
some
from the
cool
Corn
shit
Palace,
to
like,
go
how
to.
cool-
live from
Wait.
Badlands National Park.
Hold on, let me look to see how close Mitchell is from the Badlands. This is a huge fucking state.
It is.
It doesn't need to be that big either.
I know.
There's really no
All right,
point.
hold on. Directions, Mitchell, South Dakota. Okay, it's a 3-hour drive.
Worth it. We're good. We'll take turns.
From
It's an hour
Mitchell.
each. We got this.
Yeah, and I think that Sioux Falls might be, maybe Sioux Falls has
That's what I was thinking.
an airport.
It does.
All right. We're cooking now.
Guys.
We're cooking.
We're already there.
Oh, it's only
already
an hour
happening.
away from Sioux Falls International Airport.
My God.
Oh my God. We're getting there. We're going.
How far is Sioux Falls from here? Because
Well, it's a
that's the
plane
most
ride.
important part.
I mean,
Well, yeah, but here's my
Well,
thing. I'm
that's-
afraid
yeah.
of planes.
I was gonna say.
Okay, here's
I mean,
the-
we can get a ticket right now for $987.
Going to
Holy
Sioux
shit.
Falls.
That is more money than going to Japan.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota, United States. Okay. Now, if I was
Yeah.
just trying to find, fucking...
Okay, well, let's see. Matt, let's see how far away it is from, like, Lowell, Massachusetts.
For a drive?
Let's drive. Yeah, we're driving.
Okay.
It says it's gonna take 24 hours to drive.
Oh, here's the thing. I'm sorry. That was Christmas inflated prices. If we went in January, it would be $375.
Oh, those are the prices that we're looking for. So if we drove I-90 the whole way, we would be there in 24 hours. It's 1,600 miles
Jeez.
to go to Mitchell, to go to the Corn Palace. But, you go through Chicago.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Can I tell you
And
that
honestly, I
my
might just...
younger brother
What
once went to Chicago, could not find a place to park, and left?
Oh my God.
Oh, crazy.
Just like left Chicago. Was like, well, don't love this.
Yeah. Decided to leave.
Interesting.
Was just like, hey, I have time, I'll go to Chicago. Went to Chicago and was just like, nah.
That's crazy. I like Chicago.
I am having trouble with the fact that there's no direct flight
Oh.
to
To
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls.
Ah.
But perhaps I'm just not looking the right place.
Maybe.
I try from Manchester
Oh no. So you gotta fly from
instead of
Boston.
from. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I'm trying from Boston and it's not working.
Oh.
So if I
don't
try
know.
from Manchester, maybe there's a direct flight to Sioux Falls.
To
Nope.
Sioux Falls, so we can drive to Mitchell.
They made it worse.
So then we can drive to the Badlands. And then honestly, what's stopping us? What's stopping us from going to California?
Yeah. Right.
It's only
Might
a
as well.
3-hour flight, technically.
Yeah. All right, we should
What's
wrap this up
stopping
while
us?
we're trying to figure out how we're getting to the fucking corn
Guys.
palace.
While we were trying to
Next-
figure out how to get to the Corn
Next
Palace.
recording will
we're
be
like,
live
we gotta,
from the Corn
like,
Palace.
live from Badlands, South Dakota. Just 3-hour drive from the Corn Palace, which is just an hour drive from Sioux Falls.
Oh my God, you're
All
hearing us
right,
from the
But
road.
yeah, that was my story. You're currently hearing us from the road, everyone. The next recording we'll be living in South Dakota.
We've already moved. We're already there.
We've already
Bags
moved.
already packed.
We're already there.
You can count us out whenever you. Oh wait, no, there's stuff we have to do.
No,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not counting us.
Oh my God!
I'm not doing
How did
shit.
I forget the? I thought that we were just at like. I thought we'd just been vamping. I
Nope,
thought
not
this was
vamping.
like an after dark segment that we had
Nope.
just. I remembered that we haven't fully finished the podcast.
No,
yet.
so let's wrap this shit up. If you
Jesus
love
Christ.
what you hear from us, and clearly you do because you heard us just fucking jerk off about a corn palace
Guys,
for fucking
I
10 minutes.
apologize that I did not do my podcast badly duties and step in to be like, before we go on with this, maybe we should fucking
No, it's all good.
end it.
But yeah, if you like what you hear from us, head on over to iTunes and Spotify. We like both. And give us a rating and review. It's an easy way for you to help us out for free by bumping us up on the charts. All you got to do is give us a 5-star review, and on iTunes you can actually leave us a little message. If you want to support us in monetary ways, you can head on over to patreon.com/Triumvirate Productions, where you can join our $3, $5, or $10 level of patron subscriber, where you get a whole bunch of bonuses such as the After Dark segments and early episodes that are unedited. And then if you also can't support us monetarily, we completely understand. You can go follow us on our socials, the Triumvirate. On Instagram, we're at _Triumvirate_Productions, and you can find us on Facebook as well. Yeah, that's that. That's the socials. That's us.
And with that, the podcast ends with a resounding, what the fuck, history?
Now you can count us out, Meghan.
Count us. Now I can count us out.
Count us out.
All right, 3, 2, 1, stop.